Okay. Review for surviving broken relationships. Example of Barnabas and Paul. So, how does every one of the tests start out? What's the first question? Definition, right? You got to know the definition. So, know the definition for relationship. Okay, we're going to have the verse on here, Philippians 2, 3 through 4, NIV. It is on RenWeb as well as here. So, it's fill in the blank. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Meaning, it's not about you, right? It's not about you. Our school, our world, everybody's guilty of this because we talk about it. Like if you're senior year, it's all about you. It's all about you having fun your senior year. Paul tells us right here that it's not about us being selfish. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself. Does Paul say in this verse right here that you get to take 1 year off and let it be about you? He doesn't. He tells you to serve others. You know, I tell our softball players all the time, our seniors especially, it's not about you. We want to do well for you because we have that relationship with you. We want to serve you. Let us serve you, but also you serve. And that's why you see like our seniors carrying equipment. You see them sweeping dugouts, stuff like that. Because it's not about just them. Right? Not looking to their own interests, but each of you to the interest of others. That's why we were created. Right? To have that relationship with God. It means a lot to Him. So because it means a lot to Him, this verse should mean a lot to us about valuing others and putting others first. Broken relationship is when two or more people no longer share a friendship or desire to be in each other's company. That's going to be the first question on the test. Not going to be a long test because it's over broken relationships. Okay? So, we then told the story of Barnabas and Paul and why they had a broken relationship. So the next thing on the slides was all the Acts, the verses in Acts that we went over. And that just told us about Barnabas' life. And it ended with Paul and Barnabas parting company. Then I split you up into groups. Okay, depending on your class size, depending on your groups. I don't think you guys went to all the groups. I don't know. First group did Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, where you talked about Abraham. What was the cause of Abraham's broken relationship? What did Abraham do? He moved, right? He had to move. He was going to the promised land. Didn't know where it was, but he had to move. The next group had Genesis chapter 4. What was the cause of Cain and Abel's broken relationship? Huh? It was anger, right? You could say jealousy probably for every single one of these. But anger is what we looked at here. That was the cause there of the broken relationship. The next one was Joseph and his brothers. I would go with jealousy on this one because he was the favorite son. This is where I would use jealousy. Group 4 had the parable of the son with the inheritance. I would say the cause of their broken relationship was rebellion. It was probably rebellion, right? for the son who took the inheritance, spent it all, ended up living with the pigs? I would say rebellion, not jealousy on that one. This one with Moses and Miriam, yeah, you could go back to jealousy on that. I would agree that Moses wanted to marry a foreigner, right? Miriam didn't want him marrying a foreigner. David and Jonathan, that's where Saul didn't like David. We remember that. And Jonathan died, right. Then we had Luke chapter 6, verse 31. What was that about? Golden rule, right? Golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And with relationships, that means a lot. Broken relationships, that means a lot. You want to treat other people the way you want to be treated. Some guidelines for handling those broken relationships. We had the bullet points with all the things. This could be short answer questions. Okay? We are created to have a relationship with God. Relationships are the most important part of our lives. Some people try to satisfy their need for God in their relationships with others. Wrong expectations, too much control can drive people away. Must be mutual. Can't be a one-sided relationship. Can't be you liking the person and they don't like you. Good relationships, they involve the time, communication, trust, support, encouragement, all those good things. And a good relationship with God is your foundation for everything. If you're seeking a relationship with Him, everything's going to be fine. Right? You're desiring what He wants in your life. All right, those of you that have had me before, you know, dealing with the loss of my son, sent me a little cuckoo. Had to go to the psych doctor there where he had to talk me down, you know. But he gave me a list of steps for resolving personal conflict. Because my wife and I quit talking, we had to go through all that counseling stuff. And I want to read to you what he gave us. He gave us this little worksheet here. And it started with a quote from Henry Ford. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Okay? Don't find fault, find a remedy. Meaning don't look to blame somebody, find an answer. And he gave us these 10 couple conflicts. Set a time and place for the discussion. Define the problem. How did you contribute to the problem? List past attempts to resolving. Brainstorm all your possible answers. Discuss some possible solutions. Agree on one solution to try. Agree to have each individual work toward the solution. And then you want to set up a meeting to see kind of how it's going. And finally, pray. And those are what I gave you when we were talking about a broken relationship. The reason they hurt so bad is everybody has a relationship and we're all going to experience a broken relationship. We talked about you got to pray. Right? And I gave you 3 steps to prayer. Step 1 was refocus. Make sure you're focused on God. Manage your emotions. Gave you the example of Cain and Abel. Cain didn't manage his emotions. Ask for wisdom. Ask for wisdom. Ask for the Holy Spirit to enter in. The third thing I had you ask was determine what happened. And that's the part where you ask yourself, self, do I have personal responsibility in this? Then I gave you 2 tracks. I gave you, if you said yes to that question, go meet with the person. Doesn't that sound familiar? Those are the 10 steps that the doc gave, right? Ask forgiveness. What if I ask you the anatomy of forgiveness? How do you go about asking forgiveness? What does that mean? If I go up to you and say, I'm sorry. Tell what you did. Good. Tell what you did. Don't make a lot of excuses of why it happened. They don't want to hear excuses, right? I'm sorry, this is what I did. Please forgive me. Don't press the person, right? Grow in grace. Now, if you ask your question, do I have a responsibility, and you answer no, then you got to manage your own hurt. That says hearts on your notes. It's supposed to say hurts. Manage your own hurts. Okay? It's not somebody else's problem. It's yours. Give them the gift of time, because you can't make somebody else do something. Be kind and pray. Be kind and pray. Pray for them. Pray for that opportunity to make yourself available so they can come to you. Pray that God's going to intercede. And the last one was seek restoration. Seek restoration.